I don't know. I've been wondering about that. I don't know that. I don't think it follows the same people, but it might. You see, when we started, so am I. He just went up the wall with it. What's the switch gonna go to? It hasn't switched yet for me. There it goes, right there. And now Jotaro. Yeah, okay, bet. I think we're on the same page. Yeah, bet. Perfect. That's a lifesaver when it comes to streaming. Quick goal. You have it included? That is a good question. A little bit of a technical difficulty here. Let me check and see real quick. Pulls up my own Twitch on my phone. Say something? Of course I get buffering. Of course I get buffering. Say something. Of course I get buffering. Of course I get buffering. I don't think I'm getting your audio. Do you have the normal Xbox app? Matches 1-1. Sorry about the lack of commentating there. Trying to figure out some technical difficulties in the background right now, guys. Let me do this. And do that. We see a wild touch. It was a shot by T4, I believe. Reginald's going to set it up. So Reginald's in his first game with us. I believe he's coming in at around Champ 3. Zeknos with the goal right there, putting Orange Team up with 3 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. Hopefully we get David back in here in a second. He's going to try on Xbox app to see if he can help commentate through this. I did raise my stream quality after some complaints about it the other day. So do let me know if it's better. The end goal is probably to take it over to PC or laptop.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me check the... I don't know if this... Did it pop up with, like, include audio or anything? Does it say somewhere on your end it should pop up with, like, include audio or, like, if you go in the party, it should... Yeah, okay, bet. Perfect.
Alright, cool,
It
cool.
should be including you now. Hopefully.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
I'm gonna mute my mic if you just wanna take the lead real quick, just so I can check the stream to make sure it's actually picking up your voice.
Yeah, you're good. Okay, so we got one of our prospect matches going on. Orange is up 2-1. Looks like Jotaro's trying to bring it back. Let's see. Just Astro Oceans is actually Justin, but I'll try to refer to him as Astro as best as I can. Underbed board trying to get the clear off the wall, doesn't go up. Technus has a shot. So underbed board definitely could have saved it off the wall right there. And because of the hesitation, Technus had an open net. So wow, so it looks like Blue scored the first goal, but Orange definitely brought it back and they're up 3-1. Tara off the wall, goes for the demo. Should be an open net. Oh, Reginald's right there. I didn't see that. Let's see what he's trying to do. Either a pass or a shot, I'm assuming. It's the ball centered. T4. Didn't have much of an angle there. Cygnus goes for the block. Okay. Reginald trying to get something going.
Wide shot right there, it looked like.
Ooh, T4, shot opportunity. Doesn't get a lot of power on it. Didn't look like he's in the right position for that, so. Jotaro's up in the air. Air dribbling, not the best passing technique, so his team's not really ready for it. And Cygnus is able to kind of clear it. But Astro with the shot off the clear.
Done very, very well. My big worry for Blue Team right now is just that Jotaro may be outpacing his teammates a little bit. Either like overcommitting where he's not going to get the follow-up just because his teammates don't see what he's seeing right now.
Right. And I agree
that's
with you because
probably
he just right.
yes, that's probably my biggest knock to like when you see higher tier players playing with lower tier players is like from Jotaro's point of view, he's got to adapt. He's got to like realize that he's not going to have follow up on certain plays, so that he's not going to be able to do certain things because of that. The players that adapt to that the best, you see Reginald take it off the wall there for a shot, but the players that adapt to that the best tend to have the biggest impact on their teams. Dermotone with the shot there, saved by his own guy. I think it was Reginald that blocked that shot, or it was Zeknaz. It was actually Zeknaz.
Yeah, I agree with you on that note because Jotaro earlier, I was just saying he went for an air dribble. Not sure if it was a pass or anything or to maintain possession, but his team didn't know how to react to that moment. And I don't usually typically recommend air dribbling as a passing option anyway. He probably was just trying to maintain possession. Jotaro with the shot opportunity, gets it.
Oh, what a shot.
Yeah, nobody was really
of
challenging
Reginald.
there. So Zeknis or Reginald should have challenged that. Oh, Zeknis kind of did, but his touch wasn't the greatest, so shot opportunity came out.
That's a big thing that I knock players about in the prospect games is weak clears, any type of weak touch. It usually ends up biting you in the butt. 9 times out of 10, if you don't clear it out hard enough, it's going to be a goal.
Right.
Or if you don't hit the shot, if you don't get enough power on your shots too, weak shots don't end up going in a lot of times. A lot of times you see him come back.
Blue really out of position or something. I didn't really see what happened. I was checking Discord, but
I chalked it up to
again,
just miscommunication.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Blue is completely in comms either.
Yeah, I don't think Jotaro's with them.
Right.
Justin was with Under Red Bull, I believe, but I do not believe Jotaro's with them.
Ooh, shot opportunity here. Segments with the challenge. It's a decent one. Jotaro's gonna get a shot, but T4's right there for the save. And their job now is to just kill the ball. Yeah. It's 1-0.
T4's been one of the sleeper players in my opinion. Even though he is such a high rank, he's definitely not talked about as much as some of the other players like Lord have been. I think he could definitely be one of those steals. I'm not 100% sure exactly where he fits skill matchup because we've only really seen him play into. I think he played into Tartness, Crane Man, but we haven't really seen him play. I don't think we've played against the Lord. He might have had one game against the Lord.
Yeah, Crane Man definitely played.
Definitely something I'm looking for though is to see how well they match up. These past 3 matches now, I've had quite a good balance of upper tier talent.
I actually put Crane Man against Lord in my match. That 11 o'clock one I hosted after yours. And Lord pretty much swept... Their team swept Cranes. And I gave Crane the average rank advantage in that. And still Lord was able to pull out the win. He said one of his main strategies was just to harass and demo Crane Man the whole time. Yeah, just so he didn't get anything going, which is smart.
From what we've seen with Lord in games, it seems like he's a lot more willing to... Zeknaz not moving right there. He's a lot more willing to compromise and work with his team. Not that other players aren't, but it's definitely seemed to be a big aspect of his play, at least in the prospect games. And not to say that Crayman hasn't been, but Crayman's been a bit more scrappy. He's been a bit more of a solo player, in my opinion.
He is.
Which
I
like
one of
scrappy
my
players.
But so that's definitely part of his playstyle, a ones playstyle that he tries to incorporate in threes.
Which, yeah, I think it can work with the team. It can work. Right.
It has to be with a like-minded team, though.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It has to be with people that understand what you're gonna do. In prospect matches, I don't think it's the play. And you see that all the times. In the I'm on I think 27 right now. So I think what this stream is prospect match or showcase match 27, I believe.
Wow, that's
and a lot. The biggest that's one of the big things you see.
So I'll talk about Reginald a little bit. He's one of my friends, and I just brought him into the server. He's actually twice as mechanical as I am. Just super good at double touches and things like that. Pretty young player overall. He just struggles on he admittedly struggles on defense and a poor internet connection. So those are things to look for. Again, Reginald and T4 making some good connections. Definitely doing pretty well so far, as they have game 1 and the first goal in game 2.
A minute and 30 in, nonetheless. I'd like to see them kind of put some more pressure on blue team right now. I think, just from a pure rank view, orange team has a bit of the advantage. Underbred Boar, I think, is the lowest rank in the prospect class right now. I believe he is gold 3 or plat 1. So, like, I think definitely orange team has the potential there to put some pressure to exploit some things as well. It sounds a little rough, but like, I am okay in prospect games, like obviously in league games as well, but in prospect games, don't be afraid to be a bully, so to speak. If you can exploit a player, like, it's your opportunity to show off. Exploit players, like that's a big thing to see. I think we've seen T4 do that a little bit with some of the other players. Missed opportunity for a save right there. Good shot by Jotaro. I think T4 was there, he just didn't get the touch.
Yeah, I think Zeknus whiffed the save, so T4 had to rush back and couldn't get the greatest touch. And was not put in a good position. And Jotaro capitalizes. Ooh, almost a double commit there, but Reginald recognizes it.
Oh. I thought that was about to be a save, but an easy goal there for T4.
Yeah. Simple hit off the wall. Nobody really in the right position to save it. Yeah, a couple whiffs. Underbred Boar, you were mentioning that he was like one of the lower ranked players, but I actually think he's going to be a really good potential draft pick. You know, even though he's gold, the fact that he's able to keep up in these games, make some decent contact with the ball, and be able to rotate in, I think he has a lot of potential with the right coach and a bit more mechanics. I think he can potentially rank up a lot.
Oh, for sure. I think just in general, a lot of the, like, from gold to plat, a lot of those players coming in and getting into the competition, seeing the pace of the game, getting a feel for the pace of the game that champ players bring, that even diamond players bring, it definitely is going to help him improve.
Absolutely.
And then,
was Zeknus in an awkward spot? Not able to make the save. Didn't put himself in the right position.
A lot of that, I think, does come down to, he said, guys, I'm lagging. Oh, that is rough. What is he looking at? He's looking at 200 ping. Oh, goodness. That is no bueno. But yeah, I think that's another reason you see a lot of easy goals happen. It's just miscommunication. Even when teams are on mics, not everybody's familiar with each other. A lot of times you're playing with somebody for the first time, or you're just now meeting somebody.
Right.
And, like, I try to poke at both sides of that, so I think Tartness and T4 are good friends. I pitted them against each other in some matches to see how they played, and with each other as well. Just to kind of get a feel. I
actually expect more from those two because, I mean, I think they're good Champ 2 players. I actually want to see more. I think they've been underperforming in the last couple of matches. I kind of want to see more of that Champ presence.
I'm okay with. I think he, like, keeps the pressure with his team regardless. Tartness was a little bit of a letdown for me there.
Yeah,
I can definitely say I was a little underwhelmed by him, and that's like nothing personal there. It's just I didn't see, like, if you're in the champ era, there's like a certain pace I think that you have to bring to games.
Right.
I just didn't
a certain
see
presence.
Yeah. Like, we talked about it when you played, I think it was when you and Slim played the prospect games against each other. You guys were, like, constantly touching the ball. Like, constantly touching the ball. Like,
what's funny about that is that we actually told each other that we were going to relax, play defensive, and, like, try not to get too involved because he wanted... Yeah, that was a good connection, actually, from Jotaro to Astro Oceans. But, yeah, our goal during that match was to play defensive, but... I think just because of our natural place, like speed and pace, we end up just playing a lot.
Which is nice.
We just end up just touching the ball a lot.
It lets everybody get a feel for it.
Ooh, Jotaro on a kickoff goal. That's going to give Blue a really nice 2-goal advantage with 20 seconds left. It's going to be pretty tough for Orange to get back.
And that's, again, like, that's a situation where I think, like, communication is so big. Being able to trust your teammates is so big, where some of these missteps I just don't think we're going to see coming into the regular season. In prospect games, the T4 with a good save there. With prospect games, you're going to see it happen a lot. But
right.
In situations like, you know, you guys versus full senders or whoever, I don't think you're going to see as many mistakes. It's going to be just a lot more I beat you kind of plays instead of like, oh, nobody rotated, you know, wide open goal. Because that's what you see a lot of. That changes, that makes games. I think we had 2 games back now. It was literally like the teams were stalemated the entire match until somebody would misrotate and then there it goes, which is how the game's played sometimes. But I don't think that's necessarily how it's always. Like, you see a little bit too much out of the prospects.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
And it's like game 2 going to blue team. That puts the series at 1-1.
Yeah, I think Blue made some good adjustments, some good passing plays. Like you said, some of that pressure from Orange just not there. That I think they should be able to do.
Yeah, with
obviously
Reginald,
Jatar's a higher ranked player.
Yeah, but with Reginald and T4, like, I think that alone kind of gives you a bit of an advantage because outside of Jotaro, I mean, you have Justin who's in Diamond 2, and you have Underbred Boar who's sitting, like I said, talked about, like around Gold 3, Plat 1. So Orange team really should have the pressure. They should be able to exploit somebody. Like, Jotaro can't beat everywhere. And having 2 champ players, or 2 champ caliber players at the very least, like, I'd like to see them really put the gas down. I'm like,
yeah,
I can be a little critical of that, just because like I'll give teams unfair matchups a lot. You'll see in some of the showcase games.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and like I want to see you win the matches you're supposed to win, so to speak. If it's a favorable matchup, then you should get the W. Like, I want to see who's actually been carried. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You get a little peek into.
That's actually pretty interesting. Ooh, Reginald with the touch, but Zekness double commits, but Reginald's able to get a follow-up touch, so kind of puts him safe for now. T4, let's see if he's got some of the dribbles. Not enough ball control. Underbred gets a really nice challenge. Reginald's back up though, tries to go for the follow-up.
Ooh, a little close. Too much to the left.
Yeah, could have been a nice shot.
There's a save by Chotara that I didn't give to him. Unofficial save.
T4 with a disruption. Zekness missing the touch off the wall, but so does Underbred, so they're safe for now. Ooh, that 50
shot off the wall. That's
so
terrible.
Ooh, Underbred beating both players. I'm telling you, he has a lot of potential. Just got to clean up a couple things. Ooh, Jatar going for the juicy redirect shot. A little bit wide. Seems like Orange is a little bit discombobulated on defense. The rotations aren't as clean as I'd like them to be. Reginald, though, there with the save. Jatar not getting the best shot.
Yeah, pressure's definitely on Orange team right now. They're struggling to keep up in rotations to clear the ball out.
Yeah, like right there, all of them are in the same spot. And I don't know if all of them are in comms either, so I'm not looking the best. Yeah, they're about to get the ball out of their half. Astro clearing it out. Jatar able to make the connection. Off the wall. Astro missing. Oh, 2 whiffs. Now Jatar's probably just going to bring it around. And,
oh, T4
but instead
there.
he passes it to
Zeknos there.
Yeah, he passes it right to Zeknos and is unable to get the clear.
He's been another player, Zeknos, that's had... I have him listed at Plat 1 as well. He does not, in my opinion, play like a Plat 1 player. I don't know if that was just like a bad week when he gave in his rank, but he definitely does not play like a Plat 1 player.
I do think, though, that one of my issues with Zeknos, because I had him play in one of my matches, is that he's a little bit too defensive for me. A little bit too much of sitting in the net. T4 with a nice dribble goal right there. And I think that causes some chaos on defense, as you saw earlier. So I'd really like for him to kind of trust the rotations more.
Yeah,
and,
you see that
put
with
himself in a better spot when he's second man.
You see it with a few of the prospects where they seem to get a little flustered and they just immediately try to default to like defense, which
Yes,
it's
they
not
lose their
that.
confidence.
Yeah, it's not like that's necessarily the worst decision they could make, but that's not the play.
Yeah,
And the
in champ
breadboard, the
level
demo there.
play, it's not really viable. Ooh, Jatara with a nice little follow-up off the corner. Zeknos is right there, able to make the contact. T4 with the disruption, but Astra is right there. Ooh, almost a juicy pass to Jatara, but I don't think he was ready for it. Okay, we see two lifts. Underbear making some contact, but again, one of those soft touches you always talk about. Reginald beating Underbear.
Yeah, as I say, I'd like to see Reginald try to get some like something going for this game. It feels like it's been a lot of T4. It feels like it might be.
It might be mostly T4, right?
He has an assist, but yeah, it seems like it's T4 setting the pace. This is what I was talking about, where like, I like what I see from him. He brings a lot of the qualities to be a #1 guy for a team. I do question, my biggest thing is like, is he going to be okay with going to a team that's in a rebuilding phase, essentially, or in a, like, you know, maybe not a top tier competitive team that season that he's picked up, how he's going to react with his teammates. That's probably my biggest question with a lot of the champ players. Some of them answer it right away. You've seen Dicky answer it pretty well. Other ones, not so much. We had an issue with Panther. I don't know if you saw that. Ooh. That was beautiful.
I'm not sure how well Panther's going to do. I've heard some reservations about him as well. Yeah, a lot of the pressure just building up on blue. Looks like this match is going to be going to orange. 4-0, 55 seconds left. But T4 is looking much better in this series than I've ever seen him. This might be one of his best series I've seen up to date, in my opinion.
No, well, he does definitely have the rank advantage going in his favor right here, though. So that's like...
That's true.
That's one of the big things. Like you look at Jotaro, and like one of the things that adds so much, in my opinion, to his like legacy, I guess, so to speak, is like he's maybe not necessarily in the best situation, and you still see him everywhere. You still turn around and say he's probably gonna have the biggest impact of the game. And you have a team with 2 champs playing against him right now, which in my opinion, that should be that's what I want to see. Like you put 2 top tier players, you should be able to go out and compete in any threes. With a decent third man, and like I think Zeknos is a great third man with this team right now. You see him following up on some demos. He doesn't. Him and Underbred War both have an issue with aerials, in my opinion. I don't see them even like challenge stuff as much as I'd like to see them. For example, Striker, prospect I do like hype up a little bit. I think he's in like Diamond 2, Diamond 1-ish area. He doesn't have the best aerials, but he goes up, he attempts, and like that's what I want to see, especially in prospect games. Like that's what's showing me just traits that necessarily you're not going to Orange Team taking the win there, but traits that you're not necessarily going to be able to coach or teach somebody.
Right, absolutely. You know, one thing that I noticed is like some of the players because I played some of these prospect matches, is that when I'm playing with them, I actually kind of try to pressure them and give them advice in the middle of the game to see how they react to that, to see if they're able to adapt and to learn on the go. And some of these players are actually able to do that. I don't want to reveal too much just because I'm part of the draft too.
Yeah.
But me and Panda actually were talking about it, but there's some really good draft picks. Not just the top names that everyone's been talking about.
Oh yeah,
and I'm actually pretty excited about that.
There's a lot of
sleepers, like you said.
Yeah, and I think like it comes down to being a really big preference draft, in my opinion. I guess like there's a few players where you can make the argument that they should go like top pick, but like realistically, I think it's like you got about 4 or 5 guys that you could make the argument to take first overall, and then you know a good chunk that are probably gonna go where it's just like. I could take him or him and get about the same results. It comes down to the attitude and the preference of who I want at that point. I think there's a lot of talent like that where you're gonna hit where the rounds essentially are set up with first, second. I think you're gonna get the second round, for example, is gonna be full of roughly the same skill tier. It's just gonna be who's your guy? Who do you like?
Yeah, I actually was talking to Panda about that. When it starts to coming down to that like diamond area, like skill level, it may not necessarily be, you know, how good you are or how much you've impressed, but almost like your attitude. Like, are we able to play with you? Are you coachable? And yeah, almost just even a preference over their pure skill level at that point. For some of the captains at least, so it'll be
Jotaro,
interesting.
I think, got a double demo. I'm not sure if that was him or somebody else helped him there. Yeah, and like I'm not saying that rank doesn't matter, obviously, because I'd still like all of my top 5 projected prospects were still like champ 2, I think champ 3
Or
excuse me,
above, yeah.
yeah.
Ooh, T4 with a nice little shot. Blue caught out of position there, a little too aggressive, and it's 1-0. Yeah, Jotaro trying to get that save, but unfortunately I think he was third man, and no one rotated back in time. Jotaro wins the kickoff. Zeknus trying to get up there. Astra beats him to it, but Reginald's there for the save.
Astra's gonna put the ball up. It's gonna get cleared out though. I think he honestly put Reginald in a chance to make a play there. Good job by blue team actually going up and challenging that. Underbred board losing the ball right there though. That's a little rough. Reginald, that was beautiful. Keeping the ball in play. Good clear out by Astros.
Oh, both of his teammates are in net. Reginald making a questionable play as third man, but his teammate is back, rotated. Oh, and unfortunately the ball hits Jotaro to the side, and they lose all pressure that they just gained. A little bit of a double commit from blue, but still gets the clear. Another double commit from orange with Zeknas and T4.
There's been a lot
Zeknas is back
contact on orange team between orange team's teammates.
Yeah, a lot of double commits for sure. I hate to do it to him, but I think Zekness just being in this kind of lobby is unsure, again, like right there, where to position and how to read the ball. So it's more about like being aware of your teammates and being aware of the play and where you think the ball is going to come next.
Decision making and hesitation are the two like lifesavers and killers in my opinion, and
absolutely.
In Rocket League.
And you see that actually a lot in diamond players. Plats, you kind of see like the ball chase and lack of decision making, just going everything for they see. But diamonds, because they're trying to be methodical and, you know, do the right play, so you'll see them end up hesitating a lot, especially in threes, and that's why they're stuck in diamond.
Yeah, see, that's what I actually had a good conversation with Slim about that. With a lot of these players, I think getting on a team is going to be the best things for them playing Rocket League as far as getting better, because a lot of it I don't think is necessarily your mechanics to the game. I think there's a lot of players that have great mechanics to the game that aren't rated in the champ area. And it comes down to either decision making or just knowledge as far as knowing where to position. Knowing really, in my opinion, a lot of it's positioning. Like a lot of it is positioning.
Absolutely, because your position is based upon how you're reading the play and understanding who is going next out of the three of you, and that comes with game experience. Ooh, a little mishap. And blue gets the lead off of that, actually. If he hadn't touched this ball, I think they would have been fine and would have rolled to the corner. Or gone off the goalpost, but...
I think Zeknos is just... He's probably in his head a little bit. He's got a little bit of lag going on. We see it happen from time to time. That's a big miss. I'm not sure who missed that. T4 had an opportunity there. That orange team just feels like they're a little lost right there. Good clear out. Jotaro just sitting back patiently waiting.
Yeah, he saw the clear coming out from Reginald. He was able to read that. Ooh, a shot. And again, just the defense not there for orange. P4 trying to get the clear, but Chitara gets a nice little 50, and Zeknis not reading that shot.
I think Zeknis also went up initially to go commit on that with T4. I think that doesn't help him there to begin with. See it come back down in the goal.
It's a really good observation. Astro trying to get some kind of setup, but just hits it off the wall. T4 gets some kind of 50 is the opportunity. But Reginald just getting slightly beat out.
The goal's there,
got the shot. Yep. They got 4 seconds. It's very possible. One good kickoff can set them up.
Four seconds. Zeknaz is fired up now.
Reginald goes for the kickoff. P4 off the wall. Oh, he misses. That's huge. If he had gotten some kind of pass, they could have made a play. I believe it's 2-2 now, right?
Yes. Yeah, as I say, blue team won that, right? Yeah, it is 2-2 now. Underbred Boar and Zeknos. Now, Zeknos I get with the 120 ping right now. That's rough. But Underbred Boar, no assists, no saves, no shots, and like that's one of my big things that you always are gonna hear me knock on is just attempts. Just take attempts. It shows that you're in rotations.
Yeah, it looks like he's not able to insert himself into the rotation that well. Yeah, in the case of the game, because of the both champ players existing on each side, and even diamond players, those two just might be struggling right now. And let's see how they react, because now it's game 5.
Oh sure, you see, like we see it happen a lot of times. There's some notable players I think that have been in the league so far that have been in that situation where it's pretty much sink or swim. You look at Argy, for example. I think he came into the league at Diamond 3. I'm not sure where he is right now, but he got thrust into a starting role where you're playing against champ players and you kind of have to learn and adapt. And I think that's a big thing that captains are going to look to see. In my opinion, is just to see who, you might be under rank, but who can actually at least rotate. Rotations are so big. Like, who can at least try to keep this?
Yeah, if you're able to rotate in threes, it covers a lot of sins. Because you want to use a 2-step challenge system.
Yeah, it seems like, ooh, what a play.
Yeah.
There's a demo.
The best 50.
There's a demo somewhere. I didn't get to see who it was that I think helped open that shot up. I think it was a demo on T4. It took him out of the play. That's also something that I think prospects, or maybe not necessarily prospects, but some players have the wrong idea about when it comes to demoing. It's part of the game. It's like the mechanic is there for a reason. Exploit it and use it. It's not, at least from my opinion and how I hope the league looks at it, it's not toxic if you're demoing people. Like I've heard some prospects talk about how they didn't want to demo people in prospect games because they didn't want to like come off as toxic. But I mean, if it gets you the W, then like that's all that like is gonna matter at the end of the day.
Absolutely. A really great time to demo for anyone watching is when you're rotating out as first man after you go for your play. As you do your far post rotation, if you rotate on the way out and steal their opponent's corner boost, it's actually leaves you still in the right rotational spot and doesn't waste as much time as you think. So that might be the best time to go for a demo.
Good challenge by T4 right there.
Yeah, Underbred, 0 boost, not much to work with, so he's not going to be able to get a follow-up here. His teammate is there, but it looks like a bit of a double commit, and Reginald might have an open net here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to come back to haunt them.
Asher and Jatar double committing on that.
And the fact that Underbred Board didn't have anything as well.
So he's not able to rotate back.
And again, that's like, you'll hear me nag and nag and nag, but like familiarity and communication, like, yo, like I don't have boost. Like first off, like I got the ball. You got VGS. You can make that call out. So I don't know why we're still having double commits right now. But just like hey, hey, like I don't have the boost. I can't, like, I have to essentially like kind of play back a little bit. I need to get some boost up. We can't make that push. And then you've got, your double commit going on, which I see that so often in prospect games, and it's probably the biggest way to have something scored against you when you're ooh.
T4 flying in. Rough. Yeah, and also if you're out of boost, one way, if you're not in comms, one way to communicate that is to rotate out of the play. Don't stick with the play if you have no boost and you're not going to be able to make the play. If you're able to maintain momentum, you're at supersonic and you're able to get a 50, sure. But once you're out of the play, get out and rotate out. Something I really stress in some of my players. And that can be one way to non-verbally communicate that, hey, I'm out of the play, I don't got boost, I need you to go in next.
Yeah, and that's just
Jatar getting a better clear.
My big we see T4 with a shot right there that goes a little bit far to the left. But yeah, that's like, at the end of the day, like from a captain's perspective, like that's exactly what you got to do, is kind of just like outline to your players what their mistakes are, what they're doing right and wrong. Not that all the captains haven't been doing it, but like that's the key thing in my opinion, is like communicating issues and critiquing players and being able to do it in a way that people listen.
Ooh.
Wow.
Zekness, I really like what I saw from Zekness right there.
He got
P4 getting some kind of pass. Yeah, go ahead.
He got a nice goal right there. I'm not even sure what I saw. I actually don't think he got the goal though. I think Reginald got the goal. I think Zeknos got the assist. I'm not like I can go back and look at that, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he got the assist for that. He didn't get the goal. That rolled off of Jotara.
That's actually funny.
Good challenge by him though. Led to the goal, but wow, like some of those little misplays like that. Like I had a player. I made a comment about a play that had happened in one of the prospect games, and a player did DM'd me about it. We talked about it. And there's a call that I had gotten wrong, which like it's gonna happen, especially in like with the camera setup, Rocket League. I'm still like I've played a good little bit now, but I have more hours streaming the game than I do playing, and just like little mishaps.
I think you actually have right. I think you actually have pretty decent knowledge of the game. I think you're still silver rank.
All of you beautiful fucking people to fucking learn from. You, Slim, Jotara, NECA, like having the talent. That's what I stress to all the new players coming into. Good. I don't know if that was a pass from Underbird Boy, I think, right there. Yeah.
It was a pass for sure.
Right to Jotara, but it's just having all like high level talent around you. It gives you people to watch, people to mimic, people to learn from, and like that's literally how you grow. That's, in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons. If I was a newer player coming into the league, regardless of my rank, you get to see, you get opinions, you get all this kind of stuff from like higher tier players. Which, if you have the right attitude, which is another big thing, I look for in a lot of prospects. Ask questions. If you have the right attitude, like you'll grow, you'll get better. It takes time. It's never ever gonna. Oh, good. Potential for a shot right there. Nah. Looks like Orange Team's gonna get this right here. It's 2-2, right? So Orange Team's about to get the win. But
yeah.
Good attitude.
Blue can't make anything happen here.
Ask questions. Like that's so big. Like I said, it's not gonna happen overnight. I think I actually got placed gold when I first started playing, and now I'm down in silver. But like I understand a little bit more rotations. I get, instead of just ball chasing, like a lot of that comes from watching and playing with these players. So like even if you don't have the rank, the attitude is, in my opinion, the biggest thing for potential. Because if somebody's willing to learn and ask questions, like that's probably my biggest thing to all the prospects. Anybody that goes back and watches any streams. Just ask questions about anything. Any question that you have, whether it's rotations, challenging, hesitation, what you did wrong, what you did right, why you won, whatever it is. Like, just ask. You don't have to ask anybody specific, but just like get feedback, get opinions, and don't take it as an attack or a personal issue. The prospects that handle that the most, I think, are the highest, like in my opinion, rated prospects as far as potential goes. Because I can take somebody, I can't necessarily build up their attitude, but I can take somebody and build up their skills. So that's
right.
like the battery is already plugged in. Essentially, that's how I market it a lot with players. Where if I'm a captain, I'm looking for a toy that comes with the batteries included. I don't want to go out and have to go buy my batteries and buy this and buy that to actually be able to use my toy or my product. It needs to come like ready to go, essentially. And I think the attitude and the willingness to learn are your batteries for players. You need. That is so big. Like, no knock to Panther, no like personal knock, but the fact that like he calls out people for being slow. I get it, you know, that we see it with Durtho when it comes to shit talking. I get the banter of it. But if I'm a prospect, that's not, in my opinion, that's not the time to be expressing my opinion on the situation. Because, like, if I'm looking, in your situation, you don't have any players, for example, with you coming in as a new team. You're looking for building blocks. You're looking for pieces to build with, and the last thing I want to do is add something in my foundation that's going to affect me getting talent in the long run. Not saying that Panther would be that guy, but attitude definitely plays into that. Look at Doc Holliday, and I think it was Durtho. I'm really sad that we lost Doc Holliday. He was one of the prospects. I think he came in at like Diamond 3. Great attitude. He had a dispute in the chat between, I think it was between him and Panther, actually. Panther ran his mouth about about how the match was slow. Doc Holliday is like, I don't like cocky people, and blows up in the chat about it. And like, that's my thing. Again, that's another big thing. Like, I agree with where he's coming from, but if you can't temper your attitude, especially when you're a prospect, nonetheless, like, I don't want to draft you. And like, I like the dude. I love like the conversation I had, but like, focus on the game. Like the draw, like the views are nice. That's what I'd be telling all the teams. Getting viewership is nice. You look at full senders. They're our most viewed team. Whenever a match is streamed with full senders, everybody watches it. That's dope. That's good to have. They have personality there. I get it. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win every match. In their situation, they do have talent there, and they know how to buckle down. But look at, dare I say, if you look at Durtho, he, in my opinion, now, no ill will towards him. Big fan of him. Big fan of Durtho. I talk with him as often as I can. But if I'm coming from play. I think he topped out like 1850 MMR. Like he's supposed to be like, he was hands down last draft. He was hands down the first overall pick. Like, it wasn't like this season where we have a bunch of like really good talent. We had some champ players. We had some a GM or two. I think like Beowulf came out of last season, but Durtho was hands down the best player. In my opinion, some issues happened this season, towards the end of the season. I'm not signing him. If I'm anybody, I don't want him. I don't want anything to do with him. He apparently had some dispute with his team, and he posted screenshots of an argument going on in his team channel in one of the public channels. And like, that right there is like, I don't want that on my team, regardless of whether my team is dysfunctional or not. Like, I'm not saying that the team is dysfunctional or not dysfunctional. That's not the point. The point is, like, the rest of the world does not need to know. So like, that right there, it's like, I'm questioning how you're going to interact with people. I'm questioning this, that, and the third. And like, that's, you look at Lord. Here's a good example of a prospect right now. Lord, he's been pretty silent as far as like, doesn't talk too much other than asking to get in matches. Doesn't bring a lot of drama around him. In my opinion, that right there, you see the skill set. I want you. If his attitude turns out to be a positive, where he's trying to coach up players and add to players. Yes, I think that's your guy. Then I think like if that's the attitude that he brings with the skill set, because he's already quiet, then I'm going first overall. Like if that's what I'm bringing, which I haven't actually had the chance to talk with him like I have with some of the other players. But if that's the attitude I'm getting from him, that's the guy I'm taking first overall. Like, I want somebody who's got the skill set, isn't going to bring drama, and is willing to invest.
Right.
And like, you don't have to be all three of those to be a good player or to prosper in the league. There's some good players on the Lords right now that haven't necessarily been super vocal, but they're quiet. They stay to themselves. They play well. Big shout out to them, what they're doing there. You don't have to be that like all around piece, I guess. But if you're looking to be the guy for a team, those are the qualities that I would want. If you're looking to be, because like some of these teams, for example, we have trendsetters, Beowulf coming in as the captain. In my opinion, even from a captain's, even from the captain position, I still want at least 2 champ players on the team. Obviously, like you're champ 3 or grand champ, whatever you are, like that's dope from a captain's perspective. But like you might not be able to make all the games. There's just so much that goes into it. I think every team needs to have at least 2 to 3 like champ tier players. I don't think they I don't think they need to field them to play, because I think scheduling already is going to kind of make it hard for you to get all 3 of your players on for every single game, which is the reason that rosters are so deep. But I think it just lets you like have an opportunity to compete. That's my big thing. Like, I think with one guy, maybe you get it done if your team actually practices. That's like a whole nother world of like hurt that I think that will hit some teams, is the lack of practice. You can get around skill so easily, in my opinion, if you just practice and you know where you are and you know what you're doing. The fact that you're Diamond 2 or Diamond 3 playing into champ players, you can get around that if you guys have more chemistry, in my opinion. If you can trust each other more. And
yes,
you still need the mechanics, obviously, but that chemistry, I think, is the big thing. And like we've seen it with teams where this season specifically, where I just don't know what I'm looking at sometimes. I'm like, what am I watching? Like, oh my goodness, this is terrible.
I've tried to coach my team as much as I can. I don't know where they were. I feel like they were at the bottom, or people were like making fun of them and saying like, well, they're not that good. But I think the only team that we've lost to since I've played is Cryptic and Full Senders, which I didn't play in. But Cryptic's not even here anymore, and Full Senders is like the top team. So
well, technically, the Lords are considered the top team. They share the same record as Full Senders, but they beat Full Senders, so they have the technical tiebreaker. So technically, the Lords are the top team. But I wouldn't necessarily. I love everybody that I gave captain to, and I am going to come back to regret this at some point, but everybody that I've given captain to with like good faith. Like I trust everybody's judgment for the most part. I try to give everybody that chance. But if I had to knock Trachtenberg for any issue this season, it has been mismanagement. If I had to knock Cryptic, it'd be mismanagement. If I had to knock Valeris, it's mismanagement. I think that is so big to teams, is just the captain being able to set a basic structure and organization. And like in Jake's situation, it was availability. I get it. Like I do get it. But you have enough players there. I just feel like it's not that hard to send a text, hey, I'm going to be busy this week. Can somebody else do this? Can somebody else do that? Or like, hey, we need to be practicing once a week. And like, that's a lot, in my opinion, for like a more amateur team. But if they want to actually get better, I think that's what you hopefully get to see from players, is just practice.
Right. And yeah, the availability on even Trachtenberg, it was difficult to get them together sometimes. I'm going to hop off and play some matches real quick. Sorry.
All right. Oh, you're good.
Cause, trying to get some ranked games going. But I think we need to continue. I think we should do a continuous. We should continue this conversation. I think you, me, and Panda, we can talk about like what the state of the prospects are.
Yes.
And I think that'll be like a really good conversation. We should set that up. I think we should carry this conversation further, but with Panda and the table, because he actually has a really good perspective. And I'm actually really excited to see him as a captain.
You, Panda, and maybe like 1 or 2 other honestly, I'd like to get all the captains down, but that's kind of unrealistic because of scheduling and availability. But like, ideally, we have. I don't know if you know, we have Thursday's thoughts. That's been a little rough. I'm not gonna lie, but That's essentially what I want to do, is have like a weekly recap that's, instead of me typing out 50,000 fucking horribly typed articles, is actually like sit downs and discussions. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off to eat dinner. I will be back on for the 10. I don't know if you're gonna be free around the 10.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to hop back on.